in Maplewood Lane in Glenview, Illinois, when I decided to leave Nightingale Kona and build a business. And I had a pen and a pad, and that's all I had. But I had an awareness of what I could do. And I made up my mind I'd build a business that would operate all over the world, a very successful business, and we would change the lives of millions of people. Yet you just never know how far it's going to come or what's going to happen. When I attracted The Secret, it's been estimated there's 200 to 300 million people have been impacted by that. For 30-some years, I spoke to audiences from this size to thousands or 50 to 15, 20,000. But one night on Larry King, I reached more people than I had reached in 38 years. Just one day on Ellen, I reached more people than I had reached in 38 years. On Nightline, it took off like a rocket. And you know, it's a strange thing. I can ask for whatever I want now, and they'll pay me. It's true. Donna phoned and asked if I still believed in free speech. I came here because Mark Victor Hansen and Chris Guerrero phoned me from here last year, and they said, Proctor, you got to come over here. You know, so here I am. But I decided I was going to follow his vision. And you know, he had great friends. This is one of his friends. I like what Edison said. He said, if we all did the things we're really capable of doing, we would astonish ourselves. I think it's time we astonished ourselves. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think so. Then he said, you got to have meaningful friends. Well, here's his mastermind group. He had Edison, Ford, Firestone, Hoover. Who are your mastermind partners? I was talking to one of the people that was in, I forgot your name. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. Do you know what that means? Amen is translated from Aramaic. It means sealed in God. That's why when you say a prayer, it's sealed in God. All prayers are answered. It's that most people are wishing. Okay? That's what that means, sealed in God. That's a great name. Anyway, I was talking to Eamon today. He's in the second year in our coaching program. He's following Chris Guerrero's steps, I guess. And he said the mastermind group that he's in is phenomenal. You've got to get in mastermind groups. We set up mastermind groups. In fact, I'm going to put that. Where I put it. I got it. No. Okay. Find it. Did I drop some? That's what I'm looking for. Where's Stephen McGowan? Well, just walk slowly up around the front of the room so they know what you look like. You're not a bad-looking guy. You shouldn't hide away back there. You sound like church. You got to get in early to get a seat at the back, don't you, Steve? All right. All right. Come over here. Now, if you want any information on our programs, or if you want somebody coaching you in one of our programs, there's a guy to do it. He has gone through our training. He's a certified consultant with our company. And if you want to, it's Steve McGowan at lifesuccessconsultants.com.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That's it. Well,
good.
Thank you.
Go to work. All right? Now, he will help you set up a mastermind group. He'll show you how to run a mastermind group. And if you want to make headway, do that. Mark Victor Hansen and I have been mastermind partners for over 25 years. I don't know what he's earned on it, but I have earned millions of dollars in my relationship with him, and I think he'd be quick to tell you that he has with me. I can just think of a couple of ventures where we both earned a few million, and we didn't really do very much. But it was the association of bringing the minds together, and that's what happens. That's what masterminding really does. Now, Dr. J.B. Ryan said the mind is the greatest power in all of creation. You know, being featured in The Secret was nothing but a direct result. First of all, that was an attraction. I attracted that. A lot of people think I made The Secret. I didn't make The Secret. I got a message on my cell phone, and I recognized it. I thought it was an Aussie number, and I thought the woman's name was Glenda, but it was a garbled message. And you know how you hit hash or pound and you don't delete the message, but you don't get it. And you're busy. And so I had a layover of a couple hours in an airport, and so I started to clean up my phone. Gina Hayden, who's worked with me for 25 years, I phoned her. I said, Gina, phone these numbers. I think this one, I think her name's Glenda, I think, and she said something about a film, but I don't know what it was. And I've had the thing for probably a month. So she phoned me back and she said, no, she says, you're right, it was Glenda, and it was an Aussie number. There's a film crew in from Melbourne, and they're shooting a film, and they really wanted you in it, but they can't get you. They can't find you. And they're going back to Australia next week, and they're shooting in Aspen all weekend. This is on a Thursday. And Gina says, isn't that funny? Bob's doing a seminar in Aspen all weekend. So here I am right next door to them. I was all dressed up to go to work, and I just walked in, sat down in front of the camera, and then I walked away with millions of dollars. They think that's an accident? There are no accidents. There are no accidents. Then you see, I really believe that I got in that because of this particular record. You see? This when I started to study before some of you were born. I had a battery-operated record player, and I drove around playing long-playing records. If you went to the Nightingale Corporation online, get the Strangest Secret record. You can still get the original record. It's on a CD now. In fact, it's in a little book that's illustrated with the transcript. That is 40 minutes of the best philosophy you'll ever hear. I listened to that every day for a few years. Literally for a few years. I'm not exaggerating. Little did I understand that that recording was changing my life. Now there's the two men that started this industry, Lloyd Conant and Earl Nightingale. And I made up my mind I wanted to work with them. And I left a very high-paying position in my own company, left it all, and I went to Chicago, and I took a job for $18,000 a year. 5 years later, I was earning $33,000. But I was prepared to pay them to let me work there. I knew that these two people had something going on in here that very few people had, and I wanted to get as close to them as I could. I quickly worked my way through the ranks until I became VP of sales, and I had an office right beside Earl's. I got to know his secretary, Marilyn, and if Earl ordered a book, she'd get me one. If she subscribed to a magazine, she'd get me one. If he had Lowell Thomas or Eric Hoffer or somebody coming in, I would get information on them, and when they stepped out of his office, I'd step out of mine. I got 15 minutes with some of them became my friends. But I wanted to know how this guy became as effective as he became. And I knew how to do that. Study him. Do what he's doing. Most of us get our advice from the guy next door who doesn't know a damn thing about what's going on in life. Or we talk to a brother-in-law or cousin. What do you think I should do? If we really knew, he doesn't think, but he'll always give you an opinion. So I started to study with them. This is me in 1968 when I went to work with them. Isn't he cute? All right? And for 5 years, well, I've never actually stopped studying with them. Vic Conant, they're both gone now, but Vic Conant, who's the chairman, he and I are great buddies. And it was just a wonderful education. And I learned a lot. Now think of this for a moment. Your results are an expression of your own level of awareness. Now I can say this